of member councillors, and I've received an apology from Councillor Vorster, who's had to race home to a sick child. Someone like to move that apology? Moved by Councillor O'Neill, seconded by Councillor Pauline Young. All in favour? Against? Carried. And we have Councillor Barton Lumsden visiting. No leave of absence. Just like move the confirmation of minutes. Someone like to move that. Moved by Councillor Gates, seconded by Councillor Peter Young. All in favour? Against? Carried. Councillors, are there any conflict of interest declarations? You love nature.
Pardon me?
You love nature.
Well, we all do.
Yeah.
But
so I don't think that's a real conflict.
In regard to 6.2, our natural city strategy mentions the Land for Wildlife program. My property is within the Land for Wildlife program, has been for a couple of decades. But I think that this matter is so broad that it's not specific enough to raise a conflict as such, but I'm just making councillors aware of that. Thank you.
All right, so then we go to the reports and presentations. So we've got two start items, 6.1 and 6.2. I'd like to unstar. Yeah. 6.2, okay, we'll just leave that starred. And then we've got 8.1 later on. Someone like to move item 6.2. Moved by Councillor Gates, seconded by Councillor Pauline Young. All in favour? Against? Carried. All right, we'll go to 6.1.
Oh, sorry. Thank you.
Oh, that's all right. I'm not sure what the rule is.
I think it's off when you're talking already.
Yeah. We've got people tuned in at home who might need to see, give them every ability to understand what you're saying. So
okay, I'm doing the presentation. That's what you want?
I don't think we probably need a presentation. It's fairly straightforward. This is obviously an update to the previous matter where I think we made some good changes to the previous version. So there might just be a few questions. The first question I had was the feedback from the research from the guy Griffith seemed to indicate trying to make sure that everyone can participate. And then I turned to page 1 and the first question is, tell us about the Aboriginal name of your suburb or something, which now I'm not aware of all of those suburb names, but I immediately thought, okay, well, how does that apply to Holywell? Which it doesn't. So are we, like, we get to page 1 and we've immediately asked a question that probably is going to start with most people not being able to answer the question, just on a statistical basis. Not that it shouldn't form part of the book, but I just thought it was a bit strange that we wouldn't ask a more, a question that we knew was an absolute dolly to get the kids going through the book. So that was my only question.
Yeah, through the chair, it is a draft, so we can make changes to it, and that's probably something we can go back to Nature Play and also Wairaka, who are the Indigenous group who were consulted for the development of the content, and they could probably provide advice on that.
I just don't want kids to then not be able to participate in that question, and it's on page 1.
Yeah, it's a good point.
So it's a valid point of inquiry for them. But I just thought it was a little bit odd, given the nature of the research that had come back, that's how we would approach it.
Yeah.
Right, any other questions, councillors? Councillor Owen-Jones.
So I just had an observation, and I think it's great in the passport, and clearly it's changing and evolving over time. But we send one of the missions is to come to the Hotter site, and there's clearly a lot going on here, but I just thought that it would be an interesting thing if we maybe sent them into the building to look for the William Robinson painting with the with the, is it the lorikeet or the rainbow that notionally
I'm
provides...
not sure, but there was a book turned up at my office yesterday that clearly will outline all of the details.
Yeah, so my understanding is that the architect created a narrative that the outside colours used on the building itself were from the William Robinson painting. So given the fact that it's very much a challenge for the kids to find things, I thought that it would be a useful thing to actually send them into the building to look for that, and as one of the challenges. The actual HOTA challenge itself, as in for the site, is that I can't recall what it is. What do we have them going over the path for the amphitheatre?
Yeah, it's just maybe coming here and engaging on the site generally, so we can modify that and frame it up so we go into the building as well. It's quite the aim is to get people here and engaging on the site.
Yeah, so I think there's two things they can do. One is they can go over the top of the amphitheatre, which I don't know if a lot of Gold Coasters actually know is an option, but is pretty a pretty useful thing to do with young people. And then to go into the building and look for the William Robinson artwork and explain in their own words why the colours of the building look like a lorikeet's vomited, you know? So,
Yeah, no, that's a wonderful suggestion. Yeah. The whole thing, all of it. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions, or Councillor O'Neill?
Thanks, Chair. Just wondering, the 15 places to visit on the Gold Coast, could we maybe include one that's in Division 14?
I thought we had included all the divisions. I thought for
No.
14 we had
Doesn't look like it. Maybe
the
Crumbin Rock
Hinterland Hike and the Tewkesbury Reserve. Yeah, and the Kugel Cascade. That's not in Division 14.
Oh, sorry, I'm looking at the 15 places. I'm looking at, what page am I on? 106?
Oh, yeah, there's both the place.
106, 15
Yeah,
places
and the
to visit
Mission
on the Gold
8
Coast.
also.
So Tewkesbury Close is Division 13.
Oh, is it? Sorry. No, we actually tried to include everything. If you have a suggestion for an area in Division 14, we'd certainly like to include it.
Quite a few. I mean, both the valleys have some great places, but even Crumbin Rock Pools is a fantastic and easy to get there, and people know about it. So
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
Apologies. We actually tried to do that. We obviously made a mistake.
Thank you.
Councillor Owen Jones?
and sorry, on the same page, Damien leading, Damien spelt with an A.
Oh, yes.
It happens
Apologies.
all the time, but yeah.
Yeah, we will correct that. Oh, is it? Apologies again. We'll correct that.
What was that last one?
Damien leading Memorial, so it's IA.
Oh, Memorial. Oh.
Oxenford spelled right.
Oh, good.
Duncan, is that how you spell it? With a K? No, the K needs to come out of Sid Duncan as well, on number 9. On page
Thank
1.
you. I'm not sure. Yeah.
All
We will
right,
address
let's go
all
back
of
to
those
page
issues.
1 and do a spell check. Councillor Owen Jones?
With it, and we can maybe expect that those minor...
Yeah, look, I thought it was actually, compared to what we sort of tweaked last version before it got printed, I think we're a long way to the right outcome here, so, yeah. Okay, would someone like to move that? Moved by Councillor Owen Jones, seconded by Councillor Peter Young. All in favour? Against? Carried. Who voted against it? No one. Okay, good. All right, 8.1. So I didn't really have any questions, but when Roger comes out, I'll So I don't think we probably need a presentation, but just a couple of questions that I had in relation to the resolution primarily. Did you want us to actually adopt the version 3 of the guidelines, or is that not required?
No, that isn't required at this point.
Okay.
They were adopted previously. And
So that's the same version, is it?
no, it is a changed version, but there's just some slight amendments to some of the exclusions.
Fine. Councillor Gates?
Sorry, my query was about the resolution as well.
Yep.
And I understand why you have suggested a 20% discount in perpetuity, but I wondered if we wouldn't adopt at budget next year a 3 that says that the new reduced fee be adopted in perpetuity at the 21-22 budget, so that it becomes a set fee next year in perpetuity, but we don't always have to apply a discount, that we set a new fee that's 20% lower. That was my thought. I don't know why.
Does it vary, though, in its calculation? I think, Councillor Gates, so...
It would.
So the headline number will change depending on what the application's for.
So you'd have to, essentially, on the fees
I
and charges
see.
register, you'd need to have a separate line item for each.
For each one.
For each
So-
potential application, which would be quite extensive.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think it's probably the right approach. I had one other question that just related to, we've currently got a resolution that's standing that says you need to report back quarterly on this,
Yes, yep.
which I don't think is necessary given what this report indicates in terms of the number of applications. But could we just incorporate it as part of the quarterly DA report? So I was thinking about just adding a 3 that says that future quarterly reporting be incorporated into the development activity report.
Yep.
If there's anything that's beyond that you want to pull out specifically, feel free to let us know. But I mean, if it's going to be a bar graph of how many applications or decision timelines, I think we might as well just put it in the other data.
Certainly.
Everyone happy with that? Any other questions, councillors? All right. Someone like to move? Well, I'm happy to move that with that change. Someone like to second it? Second, Councillor Peter Young. Don't think there's any need to speak to it. Anyone else want to speak for or against? We'll take the vote. All in favour? Against? Carried. All right. Any items of general business? Otherwise, Matt, while we're still in the meeting, maybe you should bring out the bring that other thing closer to Councillor O'Neill. So, councillors, yeah, hey, yeah, do that too. Councillors, it's Councillor O'Neill's birthday today, and we've prepared a small celebratory platter of cupcakes. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Councillor O'Neill. Happy birthday to you. Hip hip. Hip hip. Hip hip. Okay, that's all right. Well, we just needed to get that on the public record in the meeting that Councillor O'Neill is celebrating a very special day today. So it's only a very small number, obviously. So I think there's about 21 cupcakes there, so it's probably about right. All right, blow it out and... Oh, you want a photo before? Okay. All right, well, we'll close the meeting at 9:24 and we'll enjoy some time celebrating with Councillor O'Neill. And councillors, just before we jumped up too far, Mick, or Alicia, do you just want to give us a quick flag on the... Oh, yeah.